Join the movement. Go all electric with Pure Electric.
Hello and welcome to Get More from 1974. This is an example of a retrofit. We are in the outer eastern suburbs of Melbourne, Victoria, and we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we're on. Where are we going today? Get More from 1974. We're going to start with a hello from KGB, which is not as spooky as it sounds, and we'll finish off with looking at some data. And going through all this list, this is why we're doing it. We know where we are, we know where we're going. Firstly, hello from KGB. All that means is Kathy, which is me, hello, Greg, my husband, Brendan, my son. This is us here. Now, please note, we are not experts, we're not architects, we're not builders. Our home, it's definitely not modern or pretty. There's a lot of homemade stuff that we're going to be sharing with you today. It's definitely a warts and all story, and of course you're welcome to take what you need from it. Why 1974? Well, simply our house was built in 1974. It's just a very standard single-storey brick veneer home, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 165 square metres. There are design faults and there's construction faults with it. When you look at the site plan, which is on the right hand here, you can see that we've got very minimal northerly aspect, which means we don't get that beautiful winter sun, and we unfortunately get the hot afternoon westerly sun in summer, which makes the place heat up terribly and really difficult to cool down. Now here's a little picture from satellite view. Now when we started in 2006, this is what we look like, and we were a very low efficiency house. We read a book in 2006, The Weather Makers by Tim Flannery, and that very much woke us up to the climate crisis, and that triggered a lot of action and a lot of learning. After these many years, in 2019 and plus, that's what we look like then, we were rated as a 7-star high efficiency house. That book triggered a whole heap of learning, lots of inspiration from Renew, and even a bit of activism last year from myself. What have we done? Regarding fossil fuels in the home, there's a big list here. I'll let you consume that at your leisure. And there's also another big list here which goes into more detail of when we did things and how much it cost. Now, I want to point out that this list and these actions, the order is not ideal. We bumbled our way along for many years, and life also happens. Life gets in the way sometimes, but we keep going. Now, we started off back in 2007 with replacing the roof. That very much set the scene for allowing us to collect water and also to install solar panels in the future. So that's a quick snapshot of that. We've installed a shade sail which is angled to allow the winter sun to get in, but it blocks the summer sun. My husband and son were big players in the installation of that. And 12 years later, we replaced it and we repurposed it for another shade sail. And you can see a little bit of action happening there in 2020. We put in some solar panels in 2009. Now, back then, we got a premium feed-in tariff, but very, very small generating system. So we can only generate 1.7 kilowatts, so incredibly small compared to today's standard. And that's an opportunity for us in future to upgrade. We don't have connectivity. We manually record our consumption month by month. So it's not as trendy as what you've got these days. So as I said, it's an opportunity for us for the future. We retrofitted our windows with magnetite double glazing. Most of our house is made of, I shouldn't say made of glass, but most of the walls have got massive windows or doors on them. So we lose a lot of heat in winter and gain a lot of heat in summer. So you can see there's examples. We've got sliding doors, we've got sliding windows, feature lights, doors with hinges. Magnetite was able to cover the lot, which is great. We put in solar hot water system in 2011, so you can see that we are still on natural gas, so we've got a natural gas booster to use in winter, so unfortunately we're not off gas yet, but that's another opportunity for us. We put in solar ventilation in January 2013, so that's another do-it-yourself. There's my husband doing the work. We are very big on shading and using awnings. We've got awnings at the front. We use rain shade reflective foil in the summer on the western bedroom windows. It's very ugly, I'm sorry, but it does a fantastic job and it makes a huge difference to our thermal comfort. And of course, you know, if you want to keep the sun out, you've got to keep the sun out, and that keeps us a bit cooler on those west windows. As I mentioned, very much do-it-yourself and homemade stuff here. You can see my son and husband made another shade cloth for external use. to protect the garden and my son's window, there's our repurposed shade sail over on the east windows in the dining room, and the east windows down there in the a couple of extra bedrooms there. So really you've got to keep the sun out if you want to keep the place cool. And of course we're very lucky we do have some deciduous trees at the front of the house, which does provide some shade in summer and allows the winter sun to get in. We're big on passive heating and cooling. When you want to cool the house down, open up the doors if it's cooler outside. Living in Melbourne, we do tend to get heat waves and we have a southerly blast. We're very well set up to make use of that with all the different windows and doors we've got around the place, particularly now that we've got our triple lock security doors, which allows us to go to sleep with peace of mind and leave the doors open overnight and windows open so that we get that cool breeze through. In winter, of course, the aim is to stay warm and got to stop the leaks. So we have sealed our internal wall vents and around the windows. We use draft stoppers, stuck a draft stopper on the exhaust fan, and really aim to find and fix all the gaps. And we've got window pelmets now to help reduce the convection heat losses as well. Finally, we got around to doing the ceiling insulation. Big mistake not doing it at the start, but it was in the too hard basket for many, many years. We unfortunately had to remove the metal panels from the roof to get access because the low pitch roof was such a difficult thing. And it did make a difference. If you have a look at our worst day in summer, 43 degrees outside, 28 inside, and worst morning in winter, -1 outside, 13 degrees inside. If we look at on the road, we have spent a fair bit of money over the years on electric vehicles. So I'll give you a very quick rundown of that. And of course, there's this unfortunate Victorian EV tax in at the moment. Our EV journey started in September 2012. There's my son looking at the charger going in. We upgraded in 2017 with the BMW i3, joined AEVA in February 2018, changed the colour of the roof in 2021 to cool it down a little bit. You can see the key details of how we manage the charging. And just to let you know, that charge point charger, we're going to soon replace it with a Zappy because we are getting rid of the diesel car and getting a Tesla Model 3 long range coming soon. So it's pretty good. With water, here's a quick list. I'll let you look at that at your leisure. But basically, we're collecting rainwater. We've got 3 collection steel tanks that we had plumbed to the main storage tank, plumb them directly to the toilets, and of course we've got a tap to use on the garden outside. We try and save as much water as we can. You can see we put a 5th rainwater tank in, which we use with the watering can. Energy efficient water efficient washing machine. We collect water when we need to and reuse it. Does this make any difference? Sure, we've gone from a 2 to a 7-star home, but what does it mean for our actual consumption of electricity? Here's the raw data, manually inputted bill by bill into a spreadsheet. You can see that it's below the 2019 benchmark numbers, but you can see it's trending up a little bit. And the main reason for that, we don't have much generating capacity with the solar panels. We do have an EV and there's a step change there. When the i3 came along, there's another step change with charging. So EVs do take more electricity to use to charge, so be it. With gas, you can see very, very seasonal. We're still below the benchmark for the 2019 data. But you can see that when we put the glazing on the windows and sealed the leaks, I think that the shoulder consumption has dropped, and we certainly insulated the ceiling very late in the piece, but I think it's made a difference. And with water again, we're still quite low consumers. The key features in this graph, really, we put the tanks in there. We needed to have a higher flow rate for our solar hot water system, which made a step change there. The washing machine needed tap water, not rainwater, and we have run out of water a couple of times over the years with droughts. So that's where we are with water. So if there's any questions, please get in contact through Renew. I hope you've got something out of it. Thank you so much for your attention, and good luck with your next step. Thank you. Bye.